Jazzcast Pros.
G'day, I'm Kristy.
And I'm Amanda.
And welcome to this fortnight's episode of The Spiritual Shortcut.
Kristy, do you sometimes feel like you've lost yourself a bit since you've become a mum?
Yeah, I've definitely been through that, so to totally resonate.
Yeah, me too. And today's guest is Duygu.
Yeah. So Duygu, she's a breathwork facilitator and a mama who's just been through a divorce.
Yep, that's right. So she is navigating the minefield of her ex's family. They have a whole bunch of subconscious desires to have their needs met, which is fair enough, but is it at the cost of her relationship with her own children?
Well, let's have a listen then, hey?
Yeah, sounds good. Welcome to The Spiritual Shortcut, the podcast to help you realize that you are in fact your own healer and that you can learn to release the invisible anchors that might have been holding you back. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Kristy.
And we'll be your guides on this journey.
For over 2 decades collectively, and honestly, probably quite a few lifetimes, we've used our deep intuitive connection and shamanic practices to help people just like you.
And today we welcome Duygu. Thank you so much for coming in and volunteering to be on our podcast today.
Thank you.
I want to quickly go through the intention, which we've had a bit of a conversation, haven't we, about what you're bringing for us to look at today. And very quickly, it's in 2 parts, really. It's about clearing the space to allow a deeper knowing to come in, and at the same time being able to say no without guilt. Of course, there's a whole big story that is the backstory to that, and a lot of that will come out during the conversation we have today. Kristy drew some cards, our conversation cards, and one was the inverted higher heart, which has a lot to do with resentment. The other was the crown, which is to do with sovereignty, and the feminine. So the 3 cards very much speak to what we're looking at today. So that's exciting to always be supported by the cards that we pull, and we can see that connection. So I really love when that happens. Kristy, you've already said you've got a lot coming through. So do you want to get started?
Oh, there's so much there. Okay, so instantly what I'm seeing is a little girl, and in this case, it's one of your inner children. It actually feels like both of them, predominantly teenage energy, but for some reason, now that I'm looking at it, they're actually sitting side by side, and what I'm getting is it's like a coating. It sounds bizarre, but a coating over both of them, this sticky, goopy kind of energy, and it's being stretched out. And if I look up, there are people absolutely everywhere. It's very busy, and these people, in inverted commas, are actually like dark beings. So these 2 beautiful little inner children sitting in the middle are actually feeling a lot of fear at the moment, and they're just being pulled at because there's no audio coming in, but it's like just this pulling of attention and a pulling of the knowing and a pulling of, stuff in the lineage. It's like everybody in this particular scenario that the guides are showing me is wanting to take something from both of these gorgeous little beings here. And if I tune in closer, here we go. So there's a lot of anger in there. There's a lot of, it actually is showing up as rage, because it's like I can see in particular the teenager trying to cut free. Sure.
I have a question. Is that me or my kids that you are seeing?
Yeah, and I'm wondering that too, because generally they don't show up side by side. So this is super interesting. So I'm just thinking. And yeah, so older and younger. And you do have 2 children, don't you?
Yes.
Right. Okay. So let's get in there. Yes, it's your children. And the visioning has opened up, and I can see you standing in the corner, the adult you, the mother, watching this whole scenario play out. And if I zoom in your face, it's just like worry and anguish and that mama lion wanting to come out, but kind of not knowing how to peel back the layers and get it's like movement, wanting to create movement. So not even like, I've just got to get out of here. It's the energy of, I don't even know how to get started and how to get a bit of wiggle room in this container.
Mm.
And then there's this, it's like a light coming in, so top corner, but it's literally like bouncing off this sticky, tarry kind of energy. Very black magic-y too, Amanda.
Yeah, that would make sense. I straight away, while we were talking earlier, was getting past life energy,
Uh-huh.
especially when we were listening to you speaking, Duygu, about your sister-in-law. I feel like she's definitely something related to past life.
It's like this, and I want to say a ball of angry, like rage-filled. It's like there's all of this emotion going on in the belly space. But then, like, if I really get to those outer layers, it's like, again, it's that safety. It's like if I tap on it, I can hear this metallic, it's like a hardening, like this has been here for lifetimes, like so many lifetimes. So, and if I go around the back too, there's a lot of energy in the kidney spaces, and that's showing up as that general pissed off. Yeah, it's like, why? That questioning of like, why me? Why do I have to? The guides are actually bringing through, why do I have to walk this kind of gauntlet? Why do I have to walk through the fire this way? So it's like a pissed off energy for having to do the initiation process in a certain way. That's what I'm seeing. Again, just this real shadowy energy of, I'm not clear. I don't know. I can't make a decision here. I'm unsure how I feel. And almost like an inversion going on to Amanda and Duygu is the feelings of the children, this trapping energy underneath this heavy black magic-y kind of goo going on, and that of you as the mother. The guides are saying, I feel for you, but it's like I feel too much for you, you know, like there's a blurred line there between you and those two beautiful little girls. And a door at the back, Amanda, like a door that has has like a neon sign flashing over the top of it. This way, this way. But when I look at that, it's almost like a booby trap kind of energy. So interesting. Yeah, trapdoor, yep.
I understand that it's coming through from the sister-in-law, and when I tap into it, it's like a watcher. It's almost like there's some kind of, and maybe that's the black magic energy. So as I'm sort of speaking to it, I can see that it's something that's followed you through lifetime after lifetime. It's like someone's been put into place in your life to watch over you and to make sure that you don't do the wrong thing. You don't do too much. So basically you don't step into the light and become the great being that you destined and is your mission to become within any particular lifetime. So, you know, we understand that things are sent to try us and things are sent for us to learn what we have to learn. But this is different. This is someone who's like very darkly controlling and keeping you as small as possible. So the obstacles that are put in front of you are very much not designed to help you learn, which they end up doing anyway, because to overcome anything this big is to then step into incredible greatness. However, these are designed as literal obstacles. This person is here to stop you doing what you want to do, what your higher self has put you into this lifetime to actually do, and a lot of other lifetimes. So, you know, your children are attacked energetically to stop you because you then have all this energy, expend all of this energy in your lifetime protecting your children instead of getting on with your life. So that's where this this comes out when we were talking before about I'm protecting my children, but at the same time, I know that I'm protecting myself, and I'm trying to do these things in my life which make me feel more fulfilled. And I'm trying to juggle that balance between my children and myself. And as soon as I step up in any way, the support is pulled out from underneath me. So I'm left going, oh, what am I going to do now? This is not as it was before, and it wasn't great before, but now it feels like it's even worse, and that's because I've put a boundary into place.
And what's coming through very clearly is a cycle of take this for me, in inverted commas, and then the lean in and the taking of this thing that is astronomically heavy and clearly not yours, and then, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do with this thing? Now I've got to deal with this. Hang on a second. It's that knowing of this is definitely not mine. And so then the attempt to give it back, and it's like that process, that giving back or that setting of that boundary feels very new, and then a huge amount of shame. And it feels like an old cycle going round and round and round and round and round. And when we're talking about lifetimes and this particular being, entity, whoever, whatever it is being reflected back by this particular family member, it feels like it's been going on in your container for an eternity of like, we will keep her weighed down, we will keep her distracted, we'll keep her busying herself with children and all the things, and exactly what you said before, Amanda, so that she cannot step into greatness, because the minute that you do, everything is going to change. And you've made so many steps forward. It's like the veil is now so thin. It feels really dense and heavy, and like this last bit is going to be really hard, but it's purely because you're up against it at the moment. Amanda and I talk a lot about almost like a perspex or a plastic wall where you're squashed up against it, right? And you're there, you're with all this emotion, but you can see the other side. But that wall is just a representation of a decision or a choice that needs to be made, you know? And generally, as practitioners that we're going through this work and we can see deeper and deeper still, that wall would be a representation of something deep within you. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels good. I mean, a lot of things that what you say does resonate a lot, makes sense. Because, I find it really hard that just to focus on myself and keep going without getting any distractions just because of the kids, because I have to do something, you know? Yeah.
There's this acknowledgement coming through to Duygu of the guides just assuring you that you will never lose that connection of unconditional love with your kids, and that whatever decision that you made, whatever steps you take, they will always be right there. So that fear is all that is. It's just fear. That's all, that fear of losing or that fear of disconnection.
And very often with the dark, it's the fear that gives them or gives it any level of control. And so what's happening is you stay in the shadows and you're peeking around and you're like, this is really scary. And that thing over there is what I am fearful of. So I'm not going to do that. But as soon as you step out into the light, everything falls away, because that is actually what they are most afraid of, what the dark is most afraid of. So because instantly it's the fear that they have that gives them the control over any of us. And it is that, Kristy says it all the time, false evidence appearing real. It's so, so true. It's just so fake and such a story that as soon as we look for it, it happens in our lives. But as soon as we step away from it, everything falls away and they go, ugh, it's, the dark's just like doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't have any hold over us. It only has the hold over us that we give it energetically by looking at it and giving it the energy that it's looking for.
Because essentially it's all just a reflection of us, isn't it? You know, and while you have both been chatting, I've kind of said to the guides, so where do we go? There's so much here. There's so much here. Even in our conversation, there was so much emotion and so much that came out. And they keep bringing me back to this hard, I want to use the word calloused, old, it's not even old, it's ancient ball of resentment in that belly space. And that's actually, there's a connection between that and the navel. So for both Amanda and I, we know that that's conception point energy. So are you guys okay if I just follow that down a bit deeper?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Duygu, you're okay? So this is, it's that wounding, Amanda, of being cut off, right? If I follow that right back, there is a point at your conception where it was like a bombarding of everything from the lineage, both sides. And I'm talking past lives, I'm talking like attachments, like whatever you can think of, it feels like a storm just hitting you. And if I take a step back prior to that incarnation, it's again this excitement, you know, this soul level excitement of I'm going on this big adventure. My soul is going to Earth. I'm going to have this great time. And it, you know, there's this like, I know it's going to be so amazing and full of unconditional love. And I'm going to meet all these people that I met in like other lifetimes. It's going to be great. And then all of a sudden, it's coming to the realization of once that conception comes through, once that birth happens, of being in this space of looking around from a soul level and going, what the hell have I signed up for? It's the reality of this is actually what I have created to learn these lessons.
Get the new
Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra
at Telstra.
with the latest Galaxy AI.
Create
Have fun
and feel smarter together.
with Australia's best mobile network.
So there's a massive, massive knowing that wants to drop in. And so while I follow that, I'll hand over to you, Amanda.
I know and understand
I know and I understand
that this life
that this life
has always been going to be more difficult than I expected.
going to be more difficult than I expected.
I realize that I have taken this challenge on.
I have realized that I have taken this challenge on.
I realize that my higher self signed up for this journey.
I realized that my higher self signed up for this journey.
It is only my 3D human self that feels tricked.
It is only my 3D human self that feels tricked
and has created this resentment in my life.
and has created this resentment in my life.
So today I want to release the resentment.
So today I want to release the resentment.
Today I begin to love the life that I signed up for.
Today I begin to love the life I signed up for.
And I know that loving my life
And I know that loving my life
is a step towards loving myself more deeply.
is the step forward to loving myself deeply.
I acknowledge
I acknowledge
that my environment
that my environment
is merely a reflection
is merely a reflection
of everything inside of me
that everything inside of me
at a really deep level.
at a really deep level.
When I understand this
When I understand
Fact.
this fact,
I can more easily change what I see.
I can more easily change what I see.
I can soften
I can soften
and realize
and realize
that I've actually been angry with myself.
that I have been actually angry with myself.
And that it's okay to feel angry with myself.
And that's okay to feel angry with myself.
But I'm also ready
But I am also ready
to deeply forgive myself.
to deeply forgive myself.
I'm also ready
I am also ready
to let go and clear this resentment,
to let go and clear this resentment,
making space
making space
for the wisdom, the knowing, and the lessons
for the wisdom, knowing, and the lessons
to become very clear,
to become very clear,
to show up in my environment,
to show up in my environment,
and to show up within my own body.
and to show up within my own body.
It's my birthright
It's my birthright
to fully receive all of this information.
to fully receive all of this information
I just want to add, in an easy and effortless way.
in an easy and effortless way.
Yeah, so what they're doing is a breakdown of this false structure, and they want me to use the word false matrix that you've kind of put around yourself as a protective mechanism. Could you please repeat, I am ready
I am ready
to see my greatness.
to see my greatness.
It is my birthright
It is my birthright
to be in my sovereignty
to be in my sovereignty
and see myself
and see myself
in my divinity.
in my divinity.
Beautiful. Here we go. Okay. I just want to say to you, Duygu, I can understand why you felt at such a point of contraction, because this is massive. This energy is massive. It's up super high. It's expanded from this tiny container, and there's also clearing work here for humanity and for your community. And it's not even just, it's like at a level of soul community, the guides are showing me.
So I also want to add, it is my birthright
It is my birthright
to create the life that I desire
to create the life that I desire
for myself,
for myself,
because what I desire for me is meant for me.
because what I desire for me is meant for me.
I do my life
I do my life
on my terms.
on my terms.
Again, another big opening, this time in that gorgeous high heart space. So just this incredible mist of green energy coming through in the chest there. And your guide stepping in closer, doing more intricate healing. So it's almost, I can see them almost pulling threads out, dark threads, and transmuting them, and just saying, it is safe now
It is safe now
for me to give myself permission
for me to give myself permission
to lead
to lead
with my high heart
with my high heart
in this lifetime
in this lifetime
and all others.
and all others.
Just looking at the lineage now, the guides are bringing me back there, and it's like a domino effect, right? So this is almost like the energy of Kali coming through, where it's that destruction of the old through the timelines, the transmutation, the ending of old cycles, all just being sent into the light.